What's up, everybody? Hey, in this video, we want to talk about why the Detroit Lions early in training camp, all signs point to they're going to be better and they're going to be good. And so, Chris, here's how I want to start this video. I want to just throw a few things at you. And after I throw them at you, I want you to tell me which one stands out to you the most. And then we'll just kind of go back and forth on it. So I'm going to throw them out, then we're going to go more in depth on them. So here are the reasons why I think the Lions are primed for a better season than we expect. All right. And it's not in like numerical order. It's just, but number one, our quarterback, Jared Goff, has a much better command of the offense. All positive things coming out of camp for Goff. The offensive line is as advertised. This is all the stuff coming out of camp already that it's hard to tell without pads, but they're already gelling together as a unit. The wide receivers, they're all hanging out everywhere they go. They're hanging out together, talking about football. They're trying to develop that chemistry with each other. And then you read things like this, where the defensive linemen, all the defensive linemen, and at this point in camp, that's probably like what, 12 guys, 15 guys, right? Like they all hung out after practice 90 minutes on a humid, sunny, warm morning in Allen Park, and they ran the hill, which is a thing that was put in Allen Park, unfortunately, by Matt Patricia, but they're there. So here's what this symbolizes to me, Chris. Then I want to let you talk. With all these things happening, it tells me that each position realizes the talent level is higher, and they have to put in that much extra work just to be good enough to compete for playing time or even make the team. And when you bring in a guy like Jameson Williams, all of a sudden all the wide receivers take notice and they're like, oh no, we gotta ball out if we want to make this team. When you bring a guy like Aiden Hutchinson, it raises the level of the entire defensive line. So when I tell you these things, what's the one that stands out to you and why?
Yeah, so I think the thing that kind of jumps out to me, and then I'll go more specific. The thing that jumps out to me is these are a bunch of guys that love football and love this team and love being here. I mean, shoot, I was the guy that was like, okay, practice was supposed to be 2 hours. I feel like we've been out here 2 hours. No, it's like we want
Trying
to
to tell what
better.
time it is by the sun.
Yeah,
like, oh, it's got to be almost over. We can't
Usually
wear a
when the
watch.
shadow of the tree hits like the goal line, we should be done. What's going on? No, it's like
That's when it's over.
that is when you got a team that's like, I like the guys. I think we're gonna be good. It's like it just feels so much better from a year ago when, yeah, it's like you don't have the players, it's new or whatever, right? But this year it just feels like these guys want to be around. So then what I really love is the guys running, staying after, like that just is awesome. And then,
Yeah.
but really what I just think is going to be great, and what we've heard is the offensive line. I mean, wow, won't that be nice and a big reason for us to be really good or just good, right?
Yeah.
We don't even need to be really good. Like if we can be good, and offensive line is part of that. So for me, offensive line is something I'm happy to hear. Is there a specific report that you just mentioned that you really like as well?
Yeah, I think what I love is that the two position groups that you are hearing just are doing a standout thing are the two position groups where we had a high draft pick this year. I love that because it tells me talent breeds competition. And if you are like, hey, this guy is coming in, he's at the top of the hill, I want to be at the top and I need to be better. But also, it tells me this, and I think this is why I like the defensive line one even more. When I hear about people running the hill on the defensive line, you never heard that last year. So who do you think's leading that charge?
Hutch.
I think it's Hutch.
Yeah.
And all you hear is how he's better than advertised and he's a man on a mission. And like, you can't stop the guy. Of course, he's the guy who carries around the gallon of water with him everywhere he goes, right? Because water is fuel, right? Like your body needs water, just like
water.
He's that guy who's just always thirsty. He's drinking 4 gallons a day and he's still thirsty. No. But like, I think it's Hutch. So when you have young, talented guys, and then the vets and the guys that have been around for a minute are just like, yep, we'll go. And when it says the entire defensive line, that means guys like Michael Brockers ran that. Yeah. And last year we heard about Brockers sitting out the first week, 2 weeks of training camp because he didn't do anything over the summer. and they were just easing him in. And because he
Uh-huh.
knew he was a veteran that was going to be a leader, it wasn't laziness. It was, he was telling his body, like, I need to. And you know what? Here's the truth. He knew that he needed to preserve his body for seasons after this one, because that season last year was probably going to be a lost cause.
Mhm.
And then the team wasn't going to be that great. And he knew it. And
Yep.
that's okay. And it doesn't mean he didn't work hard. He worked hard. We saw him play. It's not like he was taking plays off. But man, when you hear these guys, so here's the way I look at it. When you combine like wanting to get paid and a desire to win with an actual belief that you could,
Yes.
and not so much talent that you can't make a difference on the team, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're kind of in that perfect little area where it's like competition can be the absolute highest over the next month and a half before the season starts. Am I crazy?
No, that's a great point. I can't even remember your 3, like, triangle points there, but you were right. It converged
Same.
where it's like young, we've got the willingness to get better, and
Mhm.
we've got a true belief. You can't fake the, "Oh, I think we'll be alright." You can't fake that.
Mm-mm.
You really have to believe, like, "Oh, man, we got some players now. We got
Mhm.
the coaching staff. We've got." I have, and like you said, there's not that top end talent where it's like, what am I gonna, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna beat out, Troy Polamalu. No, I could beat that, and so you just
Yeah.
start raising the bar a little bit, and it brings up everybody, and
Mhm.
Hutchinson's the perfect example. I mean, he comes in now, Julian Acquara is like, "Crap, I gotta get up." Hutch is like, "You're not catching me," and it is. It's just that little stuff, but if you got 32 teams, they all get the same salary cap, they all get access to the draft, to free
Mhm.
agencies. What separates the great teams? Yes, it's great players. That is it, but we could argue we're starting to get some of those great players. So then what separates those, that middle tier to be playoff? It's like, man, these little things like this that we haven't had in a while, man. It's just nice to see, and it feels good. You make a great point about there's not that top end talent. So everybody's going to rise up a little bit, and it's exciting to see versus last year, previous years where, man, I didn't know who's right. It felt like a guy was springing here and there, and I don't know. It just never felt like this, where it's like this whole team's rising up a little bit, a notch every day, a notch every week. That could be great.
Yeah, it felt like last year the team was desperate to not suck. Like to be embarrassing.
To
And
not,
and
yep,
and this year it feels like they're desperate to prove that they belong. And they know they do, but they want to show everybody it. And you talked about like what makes that difference between those teams that are continually in the playoffs, right? And if you're continually in the playoffs, you're a Super Bowl contender, because if you
yeah,
make the playoffs in the NFL, you got a shot.
yep,
So, except not the 7 seed so far, what since they started doing
yeah,
that.
that's right.
But like, but what is the difference? So if I'm a Pittsburgh Steeler, right? If I am a New England Patriot, whether I want to admit that or not, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm a Green Bay Packer, right?
Mm,
Like, what are the things? I know when I put on this jersey, it's culture, right? And it's good coaching, it's culture, and it's just honestly knowing that there's an expectation and that you've done it repeatedly before.
yep,
I think the Lions have 2 of the 3, because they
yep,
obviously don't have the history. Because like if you put on a Steeler uniform, like, come on, there's an expectation that comes with those colors.
absolutely.
There's an expectation you're going to win. That's not the expectation with the Honolulu blue and silver, but we have the other 2. And if we can start getting the wins and having that consistency there, like, man, would there ever be a city that would be happier to
Oh
have
my
a winner?
gosh. Talk about another video. Just talk like what would happen. I mean, you look at,
Oh,
I was just watching the Tigers, like '06, Maglo Ordonez, walk off.
Singlio.
Yeah. And the crowd was just going absolutely, it was just insane. I
They went
forgot
nuts.
that, the '04 Pistons. I mean, that is not even, I mean, I don't know, but I don't even think that's going to be close to what the a successful Lions team, a home
No,
playoff game, something like, would
no,
just be
no,
incredible.
it's not. And don't get me wrong, like, and we call it Hockey Town and all that kind of stuff. And it is nuts. When the Red Wings are doing good, things go crazy. But this town loves the Lions.
Mhm.
And so, like, if there was a winner here, they would just go nuts. And here's the last thing I'll say about more proof of it. So, uh, opening day, Detroit Tigers. Um, Javi Baez hit that walk off, right? That like controversial, like it hit the yellow, but like, and then the guy caught it. So it was like, oh, it's caught, game over, but you can't catch it off the wall. Then it was ruled a home run. Anyways,
Yes.
there's all this stuff, or maybe a double. They go to interview Javi, and he said, we have a long way to go. It's going to be a long season, but we're going to work hard and we'll see what happens. Like in that interview, there was so much excitement. And then all of a sudden you interview him and it's like, oh, he thinks the team sucks.
Yeah, cool.
Like,
Cool.
and he thinks we're not there. I'm not getting a whiff of that. I'm not getting, you got a
No.
ton of it last year where
Yep.
it's like, we got a lot of work to do. And Jared Goff did his best to be like, hey, a lot of teams do a turnaround in 1 year. Why can't it be us? You know?
Yep.
And then he gets to camp and he's probably like, why did I say
Oh,
that?
exactly. I'm with
Says
you.
Cephas is my number one option.
You cannot
So
fake it. You cannot fake it. I mean,
no,
you can fake it, right? You can
you can
say what,
say it.
yeah, say what you need to say, but deep down, man, we're in some trouble. And that goes week to week, right? You're going out there, you're playing at Lambeau, and you're like, oh boy, I don't like this. And yeah, that I wouldn't either, but it's like, man, let's go. We got Hutchinson coming in
Yep.
off the edge. We got, you just start looking through. We got Chark, we got this, we got that, and it's like we got a belief. We got a more of a belief than we've had in a while. That's just like we're gonna be all right. And then the coaching staff, I think a big one too, Craig. We haven't really touched on, and we'll wrap this up. But
Oh no, take your time. Who
I
cares?
believe players really want to win for the coach, and
Sure.
that's hard to do. Where it's like, man, I really want to win for him. I really
You want
want,
to win for each other, but the coach too?
yeah.
Yeah.
That is like, I think we're getting into
Mhm.
that. I think we're there, and man, that's just I we just go back and forth. It's like, man, I find me the weak spot right now. Not like granular, but just kind of big ownership, coaching, culture. I can't find that right now, and that's what's nice.
Yeah. And I think too, just to add one more, and I know this video is going long, but hey, there's no rules. If
No,
there's rules on how long a video is supposed to be, it's all us. It's us. So
that's right.
we
That's
don't
right.
have a
Wingman, yeah,
boss. So
that's right.
it's just wondering if the other person is willing to keep talking.
That's right.
I mean, like that's about all it is. But as I look at this, you said you can fake it, you can say the right things and stuff like that. I look at players that come from other teams, other organizations. In the past, when Patricia was here, and even some of our other coaches, most people, hey, welcome to Detroit. How do you like it here? First couple practices, like, hey, happy to be here.
Mhm.
City, great city, love the people, excited to try and turn this thing around. And that was like the blanket thing that everybody said. Now you have guys like DJ Chark. It's like night and day. I love it here. The
Yep.
culture's fantastic. Like that is to a T what everybody's saying. Nobody's just saying like, oh yeah. I'm
Yeah.
happy to be here. In other words, like, I don't want the fans to hate me,
Right.
but
What am I supposed to say?
other people are just like, no, it's better. It's
Mhm.
better.
It
So I'm
Yep.
excited about that. I
Yep.
really am. So we can end it there. You got more?
Nope. I love it. Great video.
Yeah, great video. Pat ourselves on the back. All
Yeah,
right. Hey,
yeah.
hit that subscribe button
I'll
below. If you thought
subscribe.
it was a great video, even if you just thought it was a good video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, and give us a comment. Do you think that these are signs that point to a success for the Lions this year and forward? I think they are. So does Chris. You can argue with us, but we're definitely right. Right? Don't you think?
Absolutely.
I really hope so. I don't want to go 3-14. All right. I'll talk to you later, everybody. See ya.